Right. I mean, entirely putting the question of corporations to one side. Now let's say speech is money. And the thing that bothers me about that, if I try to channel, Madison or Jefferson, and I'm probably no better a channeler than anybody, is the disparity between that idea of democracy, where the rich people have a very loud voice and the poor people don't have a very loud voice. They have a little tiny voice. Jefferson and Madison were so concerned about a broader concept of democracy, and they were pushing against, a much different theory that the Federalist Party, as it came to be, had. They wanted to expand the franchise. They wanted everybody. They had this idea of citizen, independent farmer citizens running the country. And I think they would have been bothered at the notion that speech was so unequal in our political structure. And in that sense, I'm not even sure that they would have gone along with the commercial speech idea, but I'm putting that to one side because we're talking about core political speech here, people who can put ads on TV 24 hours a day. I keep wondering when the laws of economics are going to kick in and the law of diminishing marginal returns is going to be verified. Maybe it's already happened here in Pennsylvania, I don't know. But I think he would have been very disturbed at the direction things have taken.
So he was pushing back against the Federalists who were elitists.
Only the elite should.
You had to own property, you had to
Right.
have this, that, or the other education. He was pushing back, and both Madison and Jefferson wanted ordinary folks to be making the democratic decisions.
That's right.
Well, I'm not sure that's true at all.
Well,
I think James Madison was every inch the elitist. He was a product of a plantation society. He was the favored oldest son and scion of the most powerful family in Orange County, and he was a very, very big proponent of the idea that we should have a Republican form of government, in part because we should have our lawmakers selected from that class of people who are well educated and thoughtful, et cetera. So, he's not the everyman, and I don't think he thought of himself as the everyman. Now, we get a real discomfort in our society today with elitism, but I think the reality is those founders were elitists. They were the product of their generation. Having said that, I think Madison's own words indicate that he did want for there to be robust public debate, and he thought that we don't assist in that process by letting government make some judgments about who gets to talk and how much they get to talk. That the disease is worse, the cure is worse than the disease if you put the government in the role of doctoring how much speech and from whom you can get. So Congress shall make no law is pretty definitive language. And I think whether you think that's poetic language or not, I think it's relatively clear. I'm not an absolutist on the First Amendment the way Justice Black was, for example, but I think that that's strong language, and he selected it for a reason. So I don't think he would be comfortable with something, with the web of regulations that the Federal Election Commission might come up with as being consistent with make no law.